Part two of a cautionary tale for Bitcoin miners from the gold collapse of 1999 with Ari Pine. Yesterday, we spoke with Ari Pine from Blockfills about the 1999 collapse of gold. There's a cautionary tale for Bitcoin miners and traders that we can learn from history. Before we get there, be sure to join us in the Mastermind every Friday at 10 a.m. And if you'd like to win a Start 9 for Christmas, be sure to click on the link below where you can enter to win. This is a great Christmas present that you can give yourself. I was honored to have an interview yesterday with Ari Pine, and we talked about the cautionary tale that Bitcoin miners can learn from the gold mine collapse in 1999. To finish up, we have a cautionary tale and some things that we can take away
What
and learn
exactly
from that
happened back
disaster.
then? So what could a Bitcoin miner take away from this story as, a tale of caution or word of advice to strategically move through the future? Because I think the next 4 years are definitely going to be, it's going to be a wild one. It can go both ways. I think it's going to be volatile. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening. So what words of advice could you give to Bitcoin miners as they're growing and building their companies?
Again, this is going to be my personal take and things that I've seen. I've seen quite a few cycles in various commodities as they've gone over time. I think one thing is going forward over the next, 2 to 4 years, it can very, it really feels like we are lined up to have, what somebody has called a golden era for crypto. By the way, that may not necessarily mean, price go up, right? Number go up. It might mean that it's a particularly good time to be an operator in these businesses, which these mining companies are. And there needs to be a certain amount of decision making about what do I want my company to be? Do I want, is my job to make the margin between cost of production and cost of, output, right? Is that my revenue? Am I trying to make my money on the price of the asset itself and accumulate it, and I get to do it at an attractive price? And I think that answer is going to be a little bit different for everyone. I think the key part, though, is as in particular we are coming up, like we have not even entered, quote, that era. It is still 2024, and we have until January 20th before Trump gets inaugurated. And, oftentimes what one may see is, and one sees this, it's very easy to see in stocks, right? Stocks will come up, their hope and dreams. They haven't produced any profitability yet, but yet their valuation goes sky high in anticipation of what may be in the future. And then once they actually start making a profit, now all of a sudden they move from the land of hope and dreams to being a value stock because you can actually measure them, and it just can often mark a transition. So why do I bring that up? I bring it up because we are going to transition literally from one administration to another on January 20th. And I just wonder whether or not is that the clock going to start where people start saying, okay, what have you done for me lately, right? We've had this hope and dreams. What could happen? We're going to get rid of the SEC chairman, now. But what is the new one going to bring in? Is it actually going to be, particularly different, and different in what way? And, I think there's all sorts of very interesting factors going on. So I would say you have to think about, always keep in mind, what are your goals? And then also understand that in particular, when you've had a price run up in the way that we have, many times that is not going to continue to infinity. But again, that is, I think in terms of what sort of leverage are you taking out, that's where you really have to start thinking about where the risks are.
Thank you so much, Ari. This has been fascinating, and I look forward to having you again on next week.
That's great. I thank you very much.
Ari has such a vast knowledge of this history, along with other things in trading and Bitcoin. Ari has such a vast knowledge of this history, along with other things in Bitcoin. It was a great conversation, and I look forward to having him on the show again. I hope you had an opportunity to take advantage of that great sale price on Bitcoin this morning. It's gone up a little bit since then, but until tomorrow, we'll see you on the 256 report.